There's a point in every life where the scattered pieces start to form a pattern. You may not see it while you're in the middle of it, through the noise, the losses, the small victories, but now, this very Thursday, the pattern is here. Every step you took, willingly or not, has brought you to a doorway you may never stand before again. In the Shaolin path, nothing is random. The bruises on your spirit, the moments you thought were mistakes, the times you felt unseen, they are threads in a larger fabric. Each breath, each disciplined act, each moment you chose stillness over reaction has been preparing you for a day like this. Even the chaos was a lesson in disguise. Today, I would guide you through the hidden side of such moments. You will learn the Shaolin way of meeting life at its turning points, not with panic, but with deep-rooted clarity. I will share practices kept quiet outside the monastery walls, how the body can be trained to quiet the mind, how expectation can be untangled from reality, and how to channel the silent power that rises when both meet. These are not abstract ideas. They are living tools, tested over centuries, meant to make you unshakable when the world tilts. Stay until the final word, because the last teaching I share will change how you see every challenge from this day forward. If you leave before then, you'll walk away with only half the key. Welcome to Shaolin Mind. If you seek strength without aggression, clarity without confusion, and freedom through self-mastery, you are in the right place. Subscribe now and let us walk this path together. The mind is like water. Left alone, it will settle into stillness, reflecting everything with perfect clarity. Disturb it, and the ripples distort the truth. Most people live in constant ripples, thoughts scattered across tasks, worries, memories, and dreams that pull them away from the present. When I first began my training, my master would tell me to fetch water from the river in a wooden bucket. I would run, eager to please, and return quickly, only to find the water sloshing, spilling, never full. One day he stopped me and said, "Walk slowly, let the water rest." I didn't understand then that he was teaching me about my own mind. Shaolin wisdom tells us that every distraction is a leak in the bucket of our energy. The more we scatter attention, jumping from thought to thought, reacting to every sound and demand, the less power we have to direct toward what truly matters. This is why I say, if you do not control your focus, your mind remains distracted. The shift begins when you decide to pull your attention inward, not in withdrawal from the world, but in recognition that your mind is the command center of your life. In training, this means feeling every movement, every breath, every point of balance in your stance. Outside the temple, it means being fully present when you speak, when you eat, when you walk through the street. It is not easy at first. The mind will rebel, chasing noise like a restless child, but with patience, you reclaim the stillness. From that stillness, every action gains weight, precision, and meaning. Only when the water is calm can you see the reflection clearly, and only when the mind is calm can you see yourself. There was a time when discipline was seen as something heavy, like carrying a stone up a mountain. Many avoid it for that reason, thinking it will take away their comfort or make life rigid. But in truth, discipline is the opposite. It is the key that opens the gate to freedom. In the temple, there was a boy who hated morning training. Every day he dragged his feet, hoping for rain to cancel practice. One morning, the master told him to rest and skip the drills. At first he felt joy, but as the day went on, he grew restless, uneasy, like a bird trapped in a cage. Only then did he understand it was not the training that bound him, it was his lack of discipline that made him feel powerless. Doing what needs to be done, regardless of mood, is not about forcing yourself with anger or punishment. It's about alignment. Knowing your path so clearly that your steps become steady, whether the ground is smooth or rough. Discipline shapes the mind to act without bargaining with laziness or fear. The ancients understood this well. Farmers rose before dawn, not because they enjoyed the cold air, but because the fields needed tending. Warriors practiced their forms even when their bodies ached, not out of stubbornness, but because they knew the day might come when their skill would save a life. When discipline becomes part of you, it stops feeling like a burden. It becomes a rhythm, like the beating of your own heart. And within that rhythm is a quiet strength, a knowing that no matter the weather outside or inside, you can still move forward. This is freedom. the ability to live by choice, not by the push and pull of fleeting moods. A traveler once came to the temple seeking peace. He had wealth, status, and influence, yet his face was marked with constant strain. During meditation, he confessed, "I am always chasing what I want, but reality refuses to match it. This makes me restless." The master poured tea into his cup until it overflowed. The traveler poured back, startled. "You want more tea?" The master said, "But the cup is already full. What you want and what is are not the same. See the gap, and you will understand your unease." This is where tension is born, between the picture in the mind and the truth before the eyes. Most fight this gap, trying to force reality into their idea of how things should be. That fight drains energy and clouds judgment. Shaolin wisdom teaches a different path. First observe. Let the mind be still enough to see the gap without judgment. This is not surrender, it is simply truth seeing. Then ask, does the desire need to change, or does the situation? Sometimes, the world must be acted upon with clarity. Other times, it is the mind that must soften its grip. Harmonizing is not the same as giving up. It is finding the rhythm where inner and outer meet without constant friction. The archer does not curse the wind, he adjusts his aim. The farmer does not demand the rain, he learns to work with the seasons. When this harmony is found, the heart feels lighter. The will is still strong, but it moves with the current instead of against it. And in that flow, action becomes precise, and peace stops being something you chase. It becomes the ground you walk upon. In the courtyard, the morning air is cool and silent. Disciples stand in stillness, their eyes steady, their breath deep. Then with a single signal, the stillness breaks into movement, swift, precise, deliberate. This rhythm between quiet and motion is the heartbeat of Shaolin practice. Kung Fu, Qigong, and the traditional forms are not mere displays of skill. They are living dialogues between body and mind. Each stance, each transition, asks a question: how far can you go? Where is the edge of your strength, your patience, your balance? At first the body resists, the legs tremble, the lungs burn, but with each repetition, the edge shifts. What seemed impossible yesterday becomes natural today. Qigong, in particular, teaches a deeper truth, that movement is not separate from stillness. Breath guides motion, and motion shapes breath. As the body flows, the mind follows. The more precise the form, the more it reveals the patterns of thought that usually remain hidden. A distracted mind makes a clumsy step. A tense mind tightens the shoulders. A calm mind moves as one with the body. This is why stillness is trained alongside action. Without stillness, movement is just exertion. Without movement, stillness can grow stagnant. Together they create a harmony that transforms both. The ancient masters knew this balance well. Action sharpens the body, stillness sharpens the mind. Through this union, you meet yourself in a way that words cannot explain. You see the limits you once believed in dissolve, and in that space beyond the limit, you discover not only strength, but clarity. Every movement becomes a meditation. Every still moment becomes alive with quiet power. This is where discipline becomes more than training, it becomes a way of being. In the training hall, there is a form of practice that looks almost like stillness. No strikes, no leaps, no sound of force meeting force. Yet within that quiet frame, great power is being shaped. This is Neigong, the art of internal kung fu. Unlike the outward display of speed and strength, Neigong works from the inside out. The movements are slow, deliberate, and paired with the rhythm of the breath. Each inhale draws energy inward, filling the body like water filling a vessel. Each exhale directs that energy with precision, as if sending it along invisible paths. Over time, the body learns to move not from muscle alone, but from a deeper center. True strength is not always hard. The oak that resists the storm may break, but the bamboo bends and returns upright. Neigong trains this kind of strength, soft yet unshakable. It is a power that does not tire easily, because it is fueled by balance, not by force. Ancient masters understood that the breath is the bridge between the body and the mind. In Neigong, that bridge becomes a channel for chi life energy, guided with intention. When the breath, mind, and body unite, every movement carries more weight, even if it is as small as the shift of a hand. This quiet power changes more than just martial skill. It seeps into daily life. Conversations become calmer yet more impactful. Decisions are made with clarity, not haste. Even in moments of chaos, there is a center within that does not move. To an untrained eye, it may seem like nothing is happening, but inside, storms are being calmed, rivers redirected, and the roots of strength are growing deep where they cannot be shaken. This is the power that endures. In the still hours before dawn, the courtyard fills with slow, deliberate movement. Each posture is held with precision, each breath timed like the turning of a great wheel. This is the Yijin Jing, an ancient practice whose name means tendons transforming exercise. At first it seems to be about physical conditioning, a way to make the body strong and resilient. But its true purpose reaches much deeper. The tendons are not only the anchors of the body, they are the bridges between strength and intention. In Yijin Jing, each stretch, twist, and extension is paired with unwavering focus. The movement is nothing without the mind behind it, and the mind is sharpened by the discipline of the movement. Slowly, a unity begins to form, muscle follows thought, and thought is shaped by the flow of the body. This is why the practice is said to transform more than the flesh. Over time, the exercises reshape patterns of the mind. Hesitation gives way to precision, distraction to presence. The same discipline that keeps the stance steady also steadies the spirit. The ancient monks believed that physical training was a mirror for the inner world. A body that can hold form under strain reflects a mind that can hold focus under pressure. Yijin Jing was their way of ensuring that both matured together, so neither would outpace the other. Through this discipline, strength becomes more than a physical attribute, it becomes an expression of clarity. The body moves not with brute force, but with intention that is fully alive in each breath. This is the transformation the name speaks of, the forging of a body and mind that are not separate, but one unbroken stream of power and awareness. There was once a merchant who spent his life chasing wealth. Each time he reached his goal, the satisfaction faded quickly, replaced by a new desire. More goods, more land, more recognition. He moved from one ambition to the next like a man running in circles, never realizing the path was repeating beneath his feet. This is a pattern many know well: wanting, striving, achieving, then feeling the hollow echo that follows. The mind convinces itself that the next prize will be different, yet the cycle repeats. The Shaolin path teaches that the only way to break free is not through more chasing, but through awareness. Mindfulness slows the turning of the wheel. By sitting in stillness and watching the mind, you begin to see the loop in motion. You see the spark of wanting arise, the effort it summons, the momentary pleasure, and then the return of emptiness. This observation is powerful. It creates a pause between impulse and action. In that pause, choice appears. You can step off the wheel instead of running it again. You can question whether the desire is born from truth or from habit. Meditation strengthens this ability, training the mind to hold steady instead of being pulled by every passing urge. Ancient masters used to say that freedom is not found in getting everything you want, but in no longer being controlled by what you want. When the cycle is seen clearly, it loses its grip. Action becomes deliberate, not compulsive. Goals are chosen with care, and their pursuit is no longer desperate but purposeful. This is how the loop ends, not by abandoning life, but by living it without being bound to the endless chase. In stillness, the path forward becomes straight, not circular. A young disciple once came to the temple eager to prove his dedication. He trained harder than anyone, rising before dawn, perfecting every form, yet his temper was quick, his pride easily wounded. One day, after an outburst, the master told him, "You polish one side of the blade, but leave the other rusted. Such a weapon will fail when it's truly needed." Self-mastery is not only the building of strength, focus, or skill, it is also the courage to turn toward the shadows you avoid. The habits you hide, the fears you bury, the impulses you excuse. These are the untrained parts of the self, without facing them. Discipline is only half formed. In the Shaolin tradition, discipline is not just the act of doing, but also the act of stopping. Stopping the word that wounds before it leaves your lips, stopping the indulgence that leaves the mind dull, stopping the thought that feeds fear or envy before it takes root. This is often more difficult than action, because it demands awareness in the moments when old patterns try to take control. True transformation comes when the rejected parts are brought into the light, not to indulge them, but to understand them. Anger can become courage when guided. Desire can become dedication when purified. Even fear can become wisdom when examined. The ancients knew that integration is stronger than suppression. A river blocked will overflow or change course destructively, but a river guided by careful channels can nourish everything it touches. To master yourself is to meet every part of yourself without flinching. Only then can all your strength, both the visible and the hidden, move in the same direction, like a single unbroken flow. In the noise of modern life, it is easy to wait for the perfect time to act. We tell ourselves we will begin when things calm down, when we have more energy, when the plan is flawless. But life rarely grants such perfect conditions. Days pass, opportunities fade, and the weight of inaction grows heavier. The Shaolin way cuts through this by embracing structure in its simplest form, not grand schedules or rigid demands, but small steady rituals. 5 minutes of stretching before sunrise. A single page read in silence, sweeping the floor with full attention. These acts seem small, yet they anchor the mind like stones holding a tent in the wind. There is a story of a novice who struggled to begin his training forms. The master told him, "Do not promise me the whole form, promise me 3 breaths." The novice agreed. 3 breaths became a minute became 10, and soon the form was complete. What once felt overwhelming became natural because the first step was small enough to begin without resistance. This is the power of micro-commitments. They bypass the mind's habit of delay. They teach that action is more important than perfection. A single completed act creates a spark of momentum, and that spark grows with each repetition. In this way, rituals are not just tasks, they are signals to the mind that the path has begun. Once you step onto it, the next step feels lighter. Over time, the ritual becomes a rhythm, and the rhythm becomes strength. Perfection will never arrive, but movement will always carry you closer to where you want to be. Begin with what is in front of you, however small, and let the momentum build itself. Every step of your life has been preparation. The trials, the doubts, the moments you thought would break you, they were shaping the strength you carry now. Today is not an accident. It is a point of arrival, and also a beginning. Carry these teachings with you. Guard your focus so it is not stolen by distractions. Let discipline guide you, not as a burden, but as a path to freedom. See the gap between your expectations and reality, and choose harmony over conflict. Move with awareness so your body and mind meet as one. Build the quiet power that comes from within, and let it flow into every action. When old patterns return, notice them and choose differently. Face the parts of yourself you once avoided, and guide them toward purpose. Begin each day with a small act that anchors you, and let momentum grow from there. These are not ideas to admire from a distance, they are tools to use, here and now, and if you use them, you will find that life does not simply happen to you, you shape it with every breath. Walk forward with calm strength, and know that you are exactly where you need to be. This is Shaolin Mind. If these teachings spoke to you, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and continue walking this path with us.